Ahoy, landlubbers! It's me, Vasco, and I'm back from summer break. I just got back from Vegas to answer the question that a few people have been asking. It was awesome. It was a really great time. My Twitter account was briefly hacked, and everything other than that one thing was pretty darn good. That's all resolved now, and today, hashtag dating this live stream, was it the 7th? Yeah, July the 7th, which means that it is core, I think they're calling it core 19. It's weird to me. So for years, we're on a Magic stream, so this is relevant. For a long time, there was a set that was released annually that was sort of colloquially known as a core set. I don't know that they printed that like as part of the name of the set for like a large number of years, but eventually it started to become known as the core set. And basically its purpose was to reprint cards that should definitely be playable in the most contemporary formats of Magic, which at the time were Standard and Extended, which is gone now because it's terrible. Nobody liked Extended. Modern's way better. Hey Neko, we're streaming today. It's pretty casual. I'm doing we're doing a Magic stream. I was uncertain as to whether we would be streaming. It's very hot. Probably the second we scrub out of this, we may be done. We'll see what happens. But so, like, the core set's like a thing that's been around for like a long time. Like, the very first set was basically a core set in its own way. And then in, like, I guess it was like technically late 2009, they were sort of like, alright, so we've decided we want core sets to be cooler, so we're like printing new cards in them instead of just reprinting the cards that like need to be in the set, and we're going to try and make it something draftable. And so they started, like, when they made that change, the sort of philosophical change about what goes in core sets, and they changed it so, like, instead of being, like, 6th edition, 7th edition, etc., they called it, like, M10. It was, like, the Magic set for 2010. So, like, that was the name scheme for a while. And then Magic Origins happened a couple years ago, which was, like, it was allegedly the last core set. And I don't actually remember if I ranted about this on stream at the time, because it wasn't doing any Magic-related thing. It may be in, like, a YouTube video with tech. But, like, I found this decision to be preposterous, because, like, core sets serve a really important function of being able to reprint cards. And lo and behold, after a number of years, they were like, oh, you know what? It turns out that the core set's important because it lets us reprint cards. And I'm like, I don't even do this for a living, and I can tell you that's super important. And so the whole point of the story is this year they're finally bringing the core set back after making this fairly obvious to me realization. But instead of calling it, like, you know, M19 or whatever, they're suddenly calling it core set 19. And while it's, like, not a big deal, I find this annoying because suddenly I have to keep track of, like, more distinctions of core sets for no particular reason. But now that you've endured that boring introduction, we're back on Magic Arena. We don't really have a precedent for how long it's going to take for the web, or the like, digital development team to turn around Core 19 to be playable on Arena. It could be a while. It's possible it could happen this week. I really don't know. It'll be legal and standard as of this coming Friday. So maybe they'll make the push for that, or maybe there will be a delay. Either way, I would understand it. But today, we're going to do a Dominaria quick draft. 1, because Dominaria is really sweet. And 2, because I feel like I haven't played enough Dominaria. And 3, because, as I sort of alluded to, Core 19 is not on here just yet. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's like a core set. It's less good than a core set. I feel like one would certainly look less good in core set 2019 than they would in a core set. Unless they had my build. In which case, it's kind of a wash. Alright, let's gem it up. I bought all these gems to use them, and we haven't had... Oh, hey! It's our buddy Torgar. How's it going, Torgar? So what do we have here? We got Arvad, the Cursed. Did pretty well for us before. Cloud Reader Sphinx is good. Haven Sentry's okay. Deathloom Thoud's, like, pretty good. So I don't know. I would say that this pack sort of has, like, a lot of solid cards and nothing, like, super exciting. Having more than 18 corsets would be ridiculous. That's way too many to have on at once. Well, hypothetically, they could be corsets for different occasions, Haggis. Random note. Jeskai or Sultai deck could be neat. In what context, Cat? In Limited? 3-color decks tend to be difficult to pull off in Limited. By the way, it's like watching back some of the raw files of the streams. What are your feelings on like how loud the game sound is? Do we need to turn this up? What is that? Minus? Is it like minus a lot? What if we I covered up my own. What does that sound like? Yeah, I don't know. I've turned it up a little bit. Let me know what you think. I can turn it up more. That might be warranted. This can all be adjusted in post now that I've worked that out. Suppose you could stitch together the pretty cards of a core set to make an outfit. Yeah, that's more or less what I was thinking. I still don't think it'd be a good idea. I mean, the game sounds are definitely more obvious during actual gameplay. Here, you mostly only hear it if I mouse over things or if I pick something to add to the deck. I don't know. I like Torgar. I think I like Torgar more than I'm supposed to like Torgar. But in the absence of something monocolored that's more exciting to me than Torgar, I'm taking Torgar. It's Famine Incarnate after all. So what do we have now? We've got Garna the Bloodflame, who I've never actually played. It's 5 mana 3/3, gives all your creatures other than itself haste. And when it enters the battlefield, you can return from your graveyard to your hand all creatures that were put there this turn. It's a pretty good effect, but in order to like really get them, you have to hold up 5 mana. So, oh yeah, if you're used to Hearthstone, it's a little bit invasive. I think all people would like to adjust in some way the volume of the Innkeeper booting up the game. Meant as a new deck since... Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to gauge because, like, Kaladesh is only going to be in Standard until the first Ravnica set comes out this fall. But I think, like, a Karn Artifact deck is probably a direction I would be interested in exploring for MTG Arena Standard. So I feel like Pegasus Courser is the best card in the pack here. It might be Academy Journey Mage, but, like, I don't know. They're both reasonably strong. Obviously, the Journey Mage is better in specifically the red-blue deck, where there's enough wizards to make it cheaper. But it might still be correct to just take it. Yeah, I might try that. I don't think I've ever really properly drafted a red-blue wizards deck. There's a chance it's open. I'm gonna run it back. It's very helpful. Thank you, Windows. Alright, well, we have a blue-black card. I'm pretty sure this card isn't great. This pack is generally pretty bad. What specifically does this thing do? Look at the top card of your library. You may cast it if it's an instant or sorcery. Pay 3 mana, exile the top card of your library. It's a little expensive for limited. Oh yeah, Duel Masters was a sweet anime. The Duel Masters game was made by the same company that makes Magic the Gathering, incidentally. I think that game is still running, actually. Which is surprising to me. So, like, Rona might wheel, because, like, blue-black isn't very popular. This thing isn't a wizard either. That's disappointing. I genuinely think that the best card in this pack is probably just Jousting Lance. And it's, like, not even particularly good with, like, anything we have going on so far, but this pack is weak. If I really wanted to get speculative with the whole red-blue wizards thing, Fervent Strike can be pretty good in that deck, but it's pretty speculative. Here we go. We got the star back online. So why is this not... Don't know if that was a mistake. That's interesting. Alright, I don't think this is important. Okay, so... I don't know. I think I'm going to stay open because I'm not really convinced that Rona is good. I've seen people play it. It's never really done anything other than be a difficult to cast 2/2. So let's take the Jousting Lance and see what happens. Okay, there's this guy. The Hexproof Turtle. I like him okay. We actually have a couple of Wizards cards here. Gitu Lava Runner is, like, I think more of a constructed card than a draft card. Gitu Journey Mage is, like, pretty good. It's a 3-mana 3/2, which is sort of fine by itself. But if you have Wizards, it just deals some extra damage for fun. Just like Uncommon Red card is extremely bad. You have to have an artifact and then sacrifice that artifact to deal 2 damage to one thing. Even if you do that, you've already spent 2 mana on a 1/1, which dies to everything and is just upsetting. So, like, white actually looks like it might be a little bit open, but the packs have been kind of inconsistent. I do actually get a sense that maybe red-blue is open. I'm gonna try this. It's kind of interesting. So, Academy Drake is just a fine card. 3 mana, 2/2 flyer. If you get a bunch of extra mana, you can spend 7 and make it a 4/4 flyer. It's pretty good. This card's okay, but definitely wouldn't take it over Academy Drake. Sorcerer's Wand is a card that I've never really gotten a sense of how I'm supposed to evaluate it. So this is an equipment, but it doesn't, like, increase stats or give combat keywords like Jousting Lance does. Instead, it gives the creature tap. This creature deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker. Or, if the equipped creature is a wizard, it instead deals 2 damage. So, like, I don't think this is something you're supposed to take super highly, but I think having one of this in your wizard deck is really strong. Because the wizard deck is, like, kind of aggressive, but, like, it doesn't have necessarily a ton of tools to push through damage at the end. So just being able to turn a bunch of extra mana if you flood out into, like, moving this between your wizards and dealing, like, 2, 4, 6 damage seems really good. So I would like to have this, but that said, I'm not even sure that wizards are open yet. But, like, blue kind of seems open, so I'm going to take the Drake. I think it's a safer pick. What do we have here? It's a Goblin. It's a Human Warrior. Curator's Ward is... Enchanted Permanent has Hexproof. When Enchanted Permanent leaves the battlefield, if it was historic, draw 2 cards. It's the worst divination I've ever seen in my life. 3 mana, draw 2 cards, real badly. Can't Flight, I guess? Nothing here is good. Short Sword, we could take the Run Amok. If you end up with, like, a really good Wizards deck, then, like, having instants and sorceries is extra beneficial. Generally, I think it would take Short Sword, but we're, like, close enough to doing this Wizards thing that I'm gonna take this. I mean, it's not great. Take the 2-drop. That's not a wizard. Take the divination. That's probably wrong. I'm gonna do it anyway. Aether Glider. It's a creature. This is technically a creature, but it's not gonna do anything in our deck, most likely. And it's also not a wizard. Well, I suppose I can have one anyway. I can take this really bad sideboard card. I'll take the Fervent Strike. I'll take a wizard. I'll take this Fire Elemental I don't particularly want to play. It definitely doesn't seem like black is open. And so, of course, we open Josuvis. And Eviscerate. I guess we're supposed to take Time of Ice? It's 4 mana Saga. Taps a creature, and that creature doesn't untap as long as you control Time of Ice. Then it does that again on your next draw. And then finally return all tapped creatures to their owner's hands. Which usually, since these trigger basically on you drawing a card at the start of your turn, means that your creatures have just untapped as per the rules of the game, so it usually only affects their stuff. That said, Josuves and Eviscerate, also like this thing, hypothetically. This is more for like the Danitha Capuchin, like red-white equipment and auras deck, which I tried to make once and it didn't go well because we didn't get Danitha or this card or anything that really cares about that. I do think blue is the one color we definitely are. I think we're reasonably likely to be in red. If there wasn't a strong blue card here, I think it's very reasonable to take the Eviscerate. I don't think it's extremely reasonable to take Josuves. Josuves is a very strong card, but it's double black, and again, like, we haven't really seen much black at all, let alone good black. So I'm going to take this Time of Ice and hope. This isn't great. Nothing here is particularly good. Like, of all the cards in this pack, there are, like, 2.5 that I'm happy to play, and, like, 5 that I would play at all. Oh, Neko, does that squid emote of yours generate pasta from its fingertip? I guess you might call that? Gosh. I don't know. We're supposed to take the red card just because we think we're red? Like, again, these blue cards are not doing us any favors. This card is too many colors we're not playing. Green hasn't seemed open, or maybe I would consider this Kavu. White hasn't seemed open either. I'm gonna take the Raider, not be happy about it. Now, these packs are not going great. I'm gonna go ahead and take this Skittering Surveyor. This feels like a pretty easy one. So there's not a whole lot going on here that's very exciting for us. An aggressive deck that cares about historic things or artifacts. I kind of like this Howling Golem in theory. I see it played a little bit. It's definitely not a card you just play most of the time. You need a pretty aggressive deck for it to make sense, I think. Opt is okay, but you could generally get them if you really need them. So far, we don't have Adeliz the Cinderwind, which is the real payoff in red-blue for like paying like 1 mana cheap instants and sorceries. Skittering Surveyor will definitely make our deck no matter what we do. It improves our ability to splash a third color if this deck continues to go sideways, because it searches up a basic land. So you can just like put one in the deck and he finds it and it's great. Everything else in this pack is just kind of stupid. Alright, wow, a second copy of Orcish Vent. Could we open like things that a person might reasonably want to put in their deck? Again, we see another like strong green card here, but green continues not to feel open. Like, we're just seeing a couple of green cards. It doesn't really feel like there's a strong green presence of like, we're in a position where we should be taking these. I guess we're going to take G2 Journey Mage. We have like some number of wizards. We're like a little behind where I would like us to be. But like, we're just not seeing a lot of strong stuff in general. And what we are seeing that's good is kind of like scattered among colors. You're just a goblin. You are not a wizard. Sage of Latinum is an artificer and also a terrible card. This is like the bad uncommons run draft or something. We could take how many? 3. So like, currently our wizards are 2 G2 Journey Mage, 1 G2 Lava Runner, 1 Academy Journey Mage. Like, we're not doing terribly, but we're not doing great. Really would like, I think I would like 2 Adelizes, which is asking a lot. Like, Whisper is reasonably strong, but you kind of need to be a deck that supports it, and again, we're like not even really black. I guess we take the Scholar? Maybe? Is Squeeb better just because it's on color? I mean, you sort of get card advantage by like chump blocking infinitely or something. Sure. Flaring Scholar is not good anyway. This thing's a warrior, which is dumb. This thing's also a warrior. There's a lot of warriors in the set for there not being a warrior tribal theme. So, you know, we've seen a little bit of black this pack. I don't think we will see much, if any, black in the last pack. Green continues to be confusing. So currently we don't have a lot of top end, so maybe we take another Keldon Raider. Try to make our deck really aggressive, such that, like, anything over 4 is, like, too expensive for us, and so we just pitch extra lands to our Keldon Raiders and draw more aggressive cards. Okay, Gitu Chronicler, that's a good one. It's Wizard, can be played cheap if we want to be aggressive, though its body is not terribly aggressive. It does also have the ability to let us get back instants and sorceries. It would be nice if we had some worth getting back, but you know what? I'm not going to be picky. This draft is not going amazingly well. Oh, wow. So we did pass a Fire Fist Adept from our first pack. I think... I could be wrong about this, but I think it's too ambitious to try and take that early. I don't know. It's a good card. We're definitely going to take it. It's a wizard. It cares about having other wizards. It gets to eliminate a creature if we have enough wizards. It's good stuff. Oh, this guy came back, huh? We already have equipment. I don't think I need a second run amok. I'll take it. Maybe we end up with some weird hybrid deck. Yeah, all of a sudden black seems open. I think every black card from this pack wheeled, which is bizarre. I don't care. The elephant. I don't want them to block. Those are looking a little more filled out. Sure, I'll still take a Homerid and just ignore its existence. Fire Elemental I don't particularly want to play. Oh, hey look, a wizard card! So, is this? Yeah, this, okay. So, wow, this pack is stacked! Look at this! Look at this! So we've got Naru Meha, Master Wizard, which I feel obliged to take, even though it's like, okay. So it's a 4-mana 3/3 flash, which is, like, fine. It also has the line of text, other wizards you control get +1/+1, which even with our, like, relatively small wizard count right now, I think is quite good enough to play this. But in the middle, you may have noticed there's a large sentence that says, when it enters the battlefield, you can copy target instant or sorcery spell you control and choose new targets for it. So we've already got Fervent Strike and Run Amok as, like, relatively cheap things that, you know, we can play them during combat and then play Naru Meha and do our Kamehameha and then, you know, profit. But geez, look at this. Naru Meha, Blink of an Eye, which I would love to have, Academy Drake, which is quite good, Grun the Lonely King, Slimefoot the Stowaway, Tatiova Benthic Druid, and Saproling Migration, and, like, even, like, Yavimaya Sapherd and Voltaic Servant have, like, their moments. Like, this is insane. Definitely take the on-theme Flash Mythic, but, like, I would like several of these cards, please. Alright, so we got Befuddle, we got Fiery Intervention, which is removal, but also bleh. Night of Malice is strong, but we're not close to doing that. I think it's pretty much between Cloud Reader Sphinx, which would be good, and Fiery Intervention, which would be good, but, like, not as exciting. Like, if we just... Yeah, I think I want the Sphinx. Like, we are absolutely light on removal. Don't get me wrong. We've seen very little in the way of removal. But this card is slow, and it is awkward, and I feel like Cloud Reader Sphinx will do some good work for us. Yeah, this is not a great pack for us. There's a very expensive vampire that I continue to forget exists in the Dominaria set. This saga is bad, right? Discard your hand. Then after a turn, draw 2 cards, and then your red sources deal extra damage. It's just not reliable. Yes, this whole pack is pretty bad. Memorial to Genius is probably the best card in it, and I'm pretty happy to take it. I wish I had one of these in real life. I still need one. I think it's a pretty easy Fervent Strike. Could take Opt instead of second Fervent Strike, but I think our plan is to be, like, somewhat aggressive and use these, like, combat tricks as removal, sort of. If I had some white thing that I wanted to splash, I would some amount consider Clifftop Retreat. Because then we'd have, like, 2 pretty easy white sources, but we're not really there. So I'm going to take this one. Ooh, Shivan-Fire. I was like, hey, a Journey Mage. But Shivan-Fire is like, we need Shivan-Fire. And it will be really good with our Narumeha some amount of the time. Which may be approaching 0. But our deck needed this. Let's see. Use a bad 4-drop. The answer is yes. I also think I don't want this squee. Could use some more 2s. Even like another Gitu Lava Runner would not be unwelcome. I don't think I want Arcane Flight in the deck. Let's take the 4-drop. I'm gonna put it directly in the sideboard. It's probably the Tolarian Scholar, just to have more wizards. Not excited about it, but obviously not a lot going on in this pack. Whoa, Two-Headed Giant is still in the pack? Now, he's not like a slam first pick or anything, but this card is pretty strong. It's a 4-mana 4/4. When it attacks, you flip 2 coins. If they match, then you get an ability that changes whether it's heads or tails. So, basically, 25% of the time this thing attacks, it has Double Strike. 25% of the time, it has Menace. And 50% of the time, it's just a 4-mana 4/4, which is still pretty good. Now, granted, I would like to take Relic Runner or something, but I think Two-Headed Giant is just too much better than that. Okay. Sure, I will take a generic 2-mana 2/2 for this deck. I'll also take this Lava Runner. How many instants and sorceries have I ended up with here? 2 Fervent Strike, Shivan-Fire, Run Amok, Divination. I mean, it's not a lot. Could take Befuddle, but how many creatures do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Assuming I make some number of cuts here, something like 15. Definitely not getting there on Adeliz. Take this for the sideboard. Take another copy of this for the sideboard. Lots of bad sideboard cards, and we have a sort of medium-looking deck. So, I think I should play this Champion of the Flame. It's not very good in this deck. I think I do play this bad 2-drop. I definitely play the Chronicler. I just wonder how often I play it at 2. Generally, my answer wants to be never. But I don't know. Drake I like, Scholar. Cut the Glider. What are we actually at, by the way? This isn't the one I wanted. This shows me that. Let's make 2 cuts. So I like all these 5s. I like Naru. I like The Raiders and the Giant. It might be right to cut a Raider. Then it would have 1, 2, 4 drops, 3 5 drops. I don't know. The Raiders seem like they might be doing a lot of our damage. Squee. I just don't know what to do with the squee. Two, 3, 4. We only have 5 spells, so I don't think these lava runners are on often. I think we're right to cut both of them. I'm gonna start by cutting 1. And then, like, contenders for cuts are like champion, but even though the only thing that really works with it is the jousting lance. And actually, maybe it is just the skittering surveyor. I mean, I guess it can. If we keep both the Keldon Raiders, we can sort of use it to draw a card specifically to pitch to the Keldon Raiders. Also, just make sure we hit these, like, 5s when we generally want, like, not a lot of land drops. So, like, probably isn't a fast enough deck for me to want to cut out any lands. How about a goblin? And we still need 1 more? No, that's a... Is that our deck? Like a 1 drop, that's not great. We have a 2 drop, that's not great. This is a 2/3 with no abilities. This definitely isn't the best wizard deck that you can make. Wait, it wants me to run 5 islands and 1 Memorial to Genius? I guess maybe blue wasn't that open? But, like, a lot of the best blue cards, or a lot of the best cards we saw were blue ones. I guess we took them relatively early. What colors were we supposed to be? This can't possibly be right. This is truly insane. So, like, I want red early, and I have some double red, but, like, this just... No. So I also have double blue. And I generally want to hit blue on turn 3 or 4. So we could do 6, 7, 10. Yeah, I think I want to skew it further blue, but I think that's probably right. What is this? Add another island. Finish the deck. Well, I don't think I love our odds here. Oh wait, let's go, let's see. Blue or white, blue or black. I mean, blue is our lesser color, but at least it completes all of these quests if we play enough of it. Alright, let's play the game. How does everybody think the deck will do? So I know there's been some debate raging in the Discord for some time about this spot of tea thing. Can someone explain to me the origins of why there's such strong disagreement on this point? What is our opponent's name in, like, orange, by the way? So let's see. We got 3 lands. We got bad 2-drop and a good 3-drop. Alright, keep it. Thanks, Deco. I feel like winning all the games is probably out of our reach. But we'll try. We're gonna try. Tap land first. No, our opponent is also on blue-red, not great stuff. Let's play red. Let's play Champion of the Flame. Yeah, this doesn't look great. Maybe I am just supposed to run that 2/2 instead. It's gotta be better. I mean, like, if we ever combined the two cards, this seems better, but... That's really interesting. No blocks. Played a haste creature, and then just declined to attack with it. Let's play this Academy Drake. Minimal value. No attackers. I will definitely block their stupid thing with my stupid thing, if forced. If the issue is pressed. I'm gonna say, if we get 3 wins, I'll feel really good about it. Oh god, it's Traxos. We're not winning this match. Well, I guess we're in quick draw, so it's only games. So that's promising? So I think we attack with Academy Drake. Play Divination. Sure hope to draw something good. We should definitely save red mana in case we draw Shivan Fire. It's auto tap for always being as... Wow, okay. We drew a bunch of lands. We're not doing well. Ooh. Okay. Nico says, a spot of something means a small amount. So a spot of tea would mean a small meal alongside tea. No one in England says spot of tea, though. But Americans seem to think we do. Yeah, I don't know where that comes from. But there's definitely a perception in America that that is a thing. Oh, that sucks. Okay. This is not a wizard. This is not a wizard. Well, I think we're spending all of our mana to hit the 1/1 and then double block their 6/3. Yep. We have a very good chance of just being dead. Oh wow. Not only did they play a historic spell to untap the Traxos, which would really be enough to win the game, the way this is looking. I'm just going to take 7 and be sad forever. Okay. So here... I mean, they really just need to have, like, any historic things at all, ever. These are good cards. What about the Fervent Strike? It might be ambitious, but I like the Journey Mage. So what are they going to... Okay. So, the thing I'm not sure they realize is that the copy of Traxos will still come in tapped. So, if we... land... So we can play our Journey Mage and bounce their, like, Enchanted Guy, and if they don't draw historic things, then we're in really good shape. But if... I mean, if they... We lose to them playing Historic Permanent anyway, so let's not bother with that. So, that being the case, like... Let's just discount these entirely. If they ever play something that untaps one of them, we're super dead forever. So we should almost certainly then bounce this. And then we can get in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I think instead we just attack for a bunch, play the G2 Chronicler as a possible chump blocker, and again, we have no way of winning if they have a Historic Permanent to untap both of their copies of Traxos, so there's really no point in pretending that, like, I should save enough things to block, because we just die. We, like, super just die forever. So they could play this again and we could block it. They don't have enough mana to, like, steal our thing. Wow, I think we're winning this game, which is absurd. Sure. Die. Just for fun. This one is big. Okay, great. That was... I have to assume that was lucky. I mean... Okay, so here's... Traxxas is a really interesting card. I feel like I've talked about it at some point. But basically, it's a 4-mana 7/7, which is big and huge. It has trample, but it comes into play tapped, and the only way to untap it, because it doesn't untap normally, is to play a historic permanent. So a saga, an artifact, or a legendary creature. So, basically the way that game worked out is that they played Traxxas, they had another really good artifact cause it to untap once, and it hit us very hard. But after that, they didn't have anything else to untap it. But, like, the really interesting equipment card they had made it so every turn they got an extra tapped copy of Traxxas. So, at a certain point, if they played, like, a 0-mana artifact with 0 abilities on it, we just would have easily lost the game. So we, like, really had to get lucky there. But I'm guessing what happened is that they probably took Traxxas really early and, like, just didn't end up finding a lot of things to untap it. In which case, like, I think I'd probably still be playing it if I was in their position, but, like, it's obviously a lot less good if it only attacks, like, once in the game, instead of attacking for 7 every turn. But that was, I mean, that was kind of an interesting game. We had to play around their stuff a little bit, but we basically got there. But yeah, and thank you for the host demolition. Sorry, I was in the middle of my spiel. My phone buzz. Well, that's sorry. That's sorry, I say to no one other than my watch. Alright, so it's me versus Cash Hanzo. I don't know much about Hanzo, but I know it's like a... what's that game called? Overwatch thing. Okay. We appear to be going second, and our opponent is resolving their mulligan. Okay, our hand looks like mess. Do we attempt to mulligan for a better hand? We don't have, like, a lot of early drops, but these are, like... The Fervent Strike doesn't do anything without an early creature for the most part. The other two are very slow. That said, these cards are good. I'm gonna try this, but my instinct says I should mulligan it. But that's my, like, aggressive deck instinct. And while this deck is pretending to be aggressive, it's not particularly. Also, it's kind of a good sign for us that they're playing Navigator's Compass. It's not an extremely high impact card, and many people encourage you to not even consider putting it in your deck. And even though I have never particularly found need to do so, I still feel like that's kind of a harsh indictment of the card. It's a 1-mana artifact that gains you 3 life when it comes in, and then it sort of... It basically allows you to, like, change the type of one of your basic lands each turn. Yeah, ain't got nothing here. Hey, we found our combo of Skittering Surveyor, draw an extra land, discard it to Keldon Raider, sort of. Uh-oh. I like this plan of them playing a thing that fixes their mana, but is generally bad less if they have a third color. Okay. Alright. Okay. So, maybe a historic deck with all these artifacts? Okay, Squee. Sort of forgot that was in my deck. I'm gonna play a flyer. It looks like this. Flap, flap, cacaw. Oh, and also to answer your question, Demolition, we finished putting together this deck. I sort of thought the Red-Blue Wizards deck was open. It doesn't exactly seem like that's the case. So we finished that draft, and we played just that one game that I think you caught the end of. Shadowrun today was late to the game due to house chores and shower. Apparently big OG fight pregame between two players cause one to just flip off and leave. Oof. Bit of venting, then play. Yikes. Alright, so... I think I want to play the Raider first. Well, I should attack first. See what they do. The answer is most likely nothing. If we get lucky, the Academy Drake will just attack 10 times and we'll win the game. Seems unlikely that this will occur. Pew! Run back, re-Karn deck. Yeah, I don't know. Something about the... I feel like Karn has some untapped potential in Constructed. I mean, like, obviously he's good in the deck he's been in already, but, like... Look at this land. Alright. Yeah, technically I don't have a 5th lane to play these 5-drops, but I do also have Skittering Surveyor. I suppose I could have discarded the Skittering Surveyor, but... It looks like worst case scenario, our Skittering Surveyor can block their Skittering Surveyor forever. Oh, that's... Alright. Well, I guess I'm glad they didn't have a Planeswalker. This card exiles a creature for 4 mana, and then they get 2 loyalty creatures on a Planeswalker, if they have them. Game we have to rescue Kidnapped Daughter. Well, legit has a Horrid Tiger Mom. Possibly a self-kidnapping. Let's see. Also, we drew a land. Nice. So... Yeah, I think I play another, like, biggish creature and attack with flying. So we're a little behind, you know, partially because they gained life here, and partially because they had a really good removal spell last turn. I get the impression they maybe just drew that. I don't want either of these lands. Go away. Now that I've already, like... used a Keldon Marauder, I definitely don't have use for like 7 lands. I'm sorry about the drama, that does sound intense. Sometimes the closer you are, the harder it is for like little misunderstandings to just go under the bridge, which is weird. So, you know, if they play another artifact, that doesn't exactly count. But hey. Oh yeah. You know, we're going to take some early damage here, but generally I'm liking our position against what I'm seeing here. Like, they can't attack with this, because that'd be dumb. But I'm going to take 5 straight to the face. Hey, run him up. That might be good someday. Where was this showing as... the discounted price? This doesn't matter. Either way, this is the correct play. So, I don't know if we've, like, actually explicitly discussed this, but so, auras like Dub can be really powerful. You know, they tend to give, like, good stat boosts, sometimes keywords like First Strike, which makes it harder to block their creatures and stuff. But it's a card that's sort of vulnerable. So, for example, if I use the Enters the Battlefield trigger of this Academy Journey Mage, to return the enchanted creature to their hand, then the enchantment itself just dies. Because the effect doesn't say anything about returning all enchantments attached to it, just the creature. So the thing falls off. And it's kind of awkward for them. So now, we sort of killed their card at the cost of a couple extra, you know, damage to our face, but we're also hitting them for 5 this turn. We're like reasonably close together. Plus I've got some pump spells in my hand. This deck is very medium. It actually reminds me a decent amount of the deck I played at the pre-release today. But that one went pretty well, so maybe we'll actually get those 3 wins after all. Or, if we're really lucky, more than that. More wins is better, of course. Our opponent's deck is very interesting. There are a lot of cards I don't tend to see in large... used very often, I guess, is the way I should put it. So, next turn I could play the Skittering Surveyor, then get an additional lane to play Squee. 3, go to 8. I could do that too. Yeah, I think we just, like, play all our ground guys to, like, stick around. And hypothetically, I could attack with the 3-2. let's actually do math. This has been a flaw of mine while streaming. So 2, 5. I can use the run amok on the Academy Journey Mage to make it 6 power trample. So it'd be like 4, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I like the block plan better, but we're like getting close to the point where it would make sense to attack with the Journey Mage and just use our spells. I'm just gonna take an extra red so I can just like have a slightly better chance of like holding up Fervent Strike. There's some argument to be made to not use the search effect because we just put 2 lands on the bottom of our deck and now they're just shuffled back in with the rest. But, you know, I want to get my value. It's important to me. Alright, so we're going to knock them to 9. Again, they've had a couple of surprise moves for us, but overall I'm liking our position. We've got a bunch of blockers, got some pump spells. You know, there's a limit to how many historic things they have, although they still have cards in hand, so who knows. Kind of a great and a bad day at the same time. In some ways, that's how I felt about my birthday with that whole unfortunate Twitter hacking, but it was really a good day. So, how much is this to equip? Really? Huh. How many wizards do I have? 1? I have 1 wizard. Let's go ahead and play that mountain from earlier. I would really like to be able to deal 2 damage. One from this guy when he enters the battlefield, and one from this. To kill this. However, they have played the unusual card Shield of the Realm, which has tricked me up before. If a source would deal damage to it, prevent 2 of that damage. So I could target it for 2 damage and do literally nothing to it. It's the most unenthusiastic owl I've heard. Yeah, it was kind of a... that owl's over it. So, let's, 2, 1, 2, 3. I like this. Let's play our Fire Fist Adept. Let's use it to kill their thing that taps our blockers, because, like, that's the thing that's going to be most restricting to us, I think. Other than the Flyer, which, you know. So, yeah, I think I just attack with the big Flyer. Next turn, I'm likely to just attack with everything, but we'll see what happens right here. Okay, so if they do that, they'll be able to prevent 2 of my damage, making it so I deal only 1 damage to it. Unless I Fervent Strike, because then my guy deals 4 damage and they only prevent 2. This way their bird dies and our thing lives. And then, we should be in good shape to finish them off next turn. I suppose... maybe it was better to attack with both the Flyers and possibly use the Run Amok. I feel like I might need the Run Amok on the ground. And we're still at 9 after all. I suppose they could have tried to block the 2-2, assuming that I, like, goofed. Yeah, it's not good. Pretty sure we got him, though. I mean, especially if they, like, equip the shield again. Yeah. If they're just, like, representing nothing, I think we present enough damage. But let's try and be diligent. So, the ground guy blocks 3 damage. Let's say that the 2-1 blocks our 3-2, and the Skittering Surveyor blocks Squee. We then have 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9 with the Run Amok. Alright. I don't think they can have anything here. So, did you do any gambling in Vegas? No, I didn't. I've gambled, like, the minimum amount possible to still call it that in the past, but, yeah, it's more for, like, shows and performances and stuff like that. Oh, really? I mean, I might as well cast a red spell. Enter. I shouldn't, in case some weird thing happens and yeah, okay. I figured that's where we're at. Let's see, so what did we do? We saw, when I was in Vegas, we saw, Ray Romano and David Spade, and they were both awesome. I have not historically been the biggest David Spade fan. I've enjoyed some things he's been in, particularly Emperor's New Groove. But like also a couple other things like Just Shoot Me and stuff. But like he's never been my favorite. But both of them were amazing. If you can see either of them live doing stand-up, I would super recommend it. They were both really, really good. And I say this as someone who's seen a lot of stand-up at this point. I would genuinely rank like both of them either in or very close to the top 3. Yeah, Ray Romano was amazing. Kevin Nealon's the only person I've ever seen live who's better than Ray Romano was. We also saw Steve Martin and Martin Short, which was still a lot of fun. I didn't like it as much as the other guys, but that was good. We saw our first Cirque show, my parents and I. We saw Ka. This hand is bad, I think? This hand is bad? Well, I don't know. We have Skittering Surveyor, so we can definitely get 1 blue, assuming we get any land, which, admittedly, isn't nothing. But we do also have the 2-headed giant and Cloud Reader Sphinx. Like, if we get a little bit lucky on land, I feel like this hand could do some serious work. It's kind of sketchy either way, though. The mulligan could definitely be worse than this. I mean, we also have emergency no-value Chronicler if we need it. This is bad, but I'm going to do it. Bill Engvall. I've heard good things about Bill Engvall. I've liked some of Jeff Dunham's stuff as well. I saw like a Comedy Central special back in college that I remember like quoting a lot. David Spade does the voice of Kuzco in Emperor's New Groove. So like the main guy, the like Emperor guy who sucks, and then he like learns how to suck less. All right, well we got our 3rd land. I think I like this hand now that that's happened. I don't know. So my top 3, I think I would put it... Kevin Nealon was just surprisingly hilarious. Then Ray Romano 2nd. I think, personally, I still give Brian Regan the edge over David Spade, but by, like, way less than I would have assumed. Let's definitely get the land we need. That way we can play 2-headed giant next turn and maybe just run away with the game. Island, please. Technically, Dad did gamble $1 at that poker machine that was by the World of Wonder when we were waiting for that show to start. I don't think there was any expectation he was going to make money off of it, but technically he did gamble that. I mention this only because I know it will make Cheryl very happy. At one point she said I should like try and get Dad to gamble, and I was like, why would I do that? I have no interest in doing that. And then when it just sort of happened, I was like, well, I can tell her this and she'll enjoy it. Okay. Let's attack with the 2-headed giant and see what happens. Oh, what is that one? Menace. Great. Can't block. Pow. Let's scry some good cards to the top. Fire Fist Adept, you say? Do I need 6 mana? I suppose I should take 6 mana. Oh, I can Keldon Raider the Squee. That's fun. Yeah, I think it's this. I don't know. I'm not sure this matters, which is a good place to be. What I mean when I say that Emperor Kuzco sucks is that at the start of the movie he's clearly a giant jerk. I mean, I enjoy the character a lot in the movie, but like he definitely sucks at the start of that movie. Yeah, no, it was a great... Like, I've always had fun when my parents have been generous enough to do the sort of, like, birthday Vegas trip for me. But, like, this year was just, like, especially good. I don't know. I had a great time. That's sweet. Because now... Because, like, I can play Squee from my graveyard, so it's like a free discard, you see. Let's see. I'm gonna deal some damages. Thank you very much, Demolition. I appreciate chat's interest. Yeah, we did, I mean, there was some amount of technicality, but we did complete an escape room successfully. They essentially forgot to lock something, which is kind of embarrassing for them. And I generally like. There's a lot of ways to enjoy Vegas. I think a lot of people get hung up on the like, oh, there's sort of like a seedy way to enjoy Vegas, and it's like it's not all about that. So like there are other ways to do it. So I think I have 7, right? So I can like 1, 2, 3, play squee. So I think what I'm supposed to do, maybe I just play the wizard now. I would like to get rid of this Drake somehow. Because if I can, like, attack with this and have them block and sort of ping off each other, then I can have Fire Fist Adept finish off the other one, but that feels like super unlikely. I'm gonna expect to play this Naru Meha, a name I will never remember, during their turn at some point. Yeah, we still haven't seen any, like, major magicians, which is something I was, like, talking about this year. Something maybe to do in the future. Really? Kill the 4/3? Yeah. It's kind of interesting. Hold on. 10. Block. Want to try and hold this up for a spell? No, I don't think I should. It's very tempting to, but I don't think I'm supposed to. Oh, that helps. That helps a great deal. Sure, that seems fine. We'll pretend to hold up cancel. So this. Then we can attack with everything that isn't Skittering Surveyor. Yeah, that's a pretty good draw, I think. Makes me glad I played another wizard. Don't think for 1 black. Sure. Oh, they'll block the squee? Sure. Oh, interesting. That makes sense, but I don't think that's best for them. It also seems exceptionally weird for them not to block the squee. That seems super weird. I wonder if that means something. So they can't play like a big thing this turn because they'll just tap it and it'll be done. Okay. Again, I'm not convinced that card is like great. Sure, I guess. What do I have in my graveyard? Yeah, that's not ideal. Only deals to a creature. Well, that's combat, I guess. Really don't know why you wouldn't have blocked the squeak. Yeah, it doesn't really change anything. If I'd, like, forced them to do that pre-combat, like, whatever. But with that few creatures left to my name, I think I am supposed to play the Fire Fist Adept for, like, basically nothing. It's not impossible for them to stabilize, but it will be difficult. It would be good to draw one of my pump spells now. And then I can get it back with Chronicler. Unfortunately, I can't get back this enchantment when it goes off and bounces all their stuff during my next turn. But seriously, like, we haven't seen much of this card so far, but, like, look how much work this has done for us. It tapped a single one of their creature for, like, 3 turns, and we went from, like, board stall to, like, they're on the verge of death. And then even, like, next turn when it, like, finally goes off and returns it to their hand, they still have to spend, like, most of their turn replaying it. And at that point, again, they will be mostly dead. So it won't take a lot to finish them here, but it might take something. I wonder if they'll start spending mana to, like, exile the top card of their deck. I really like Dominaria. I mean, I know that a lot of you guys probably don't have context for, like, how different sets look. Wow, they got some strong removal, man. Is there any way to tell if they, like, played this off? I think their hand went down as if it was played from their hand, but, like, geez, they've got a lot of removal. Man. So, as much as I would like to get value by returning something like an instant or sorcery from the graveyard with Gitu Chronicler, it's definitely looking like I should probably just cast it. Because they're at 1, so it presents a lethal threat. You know, it's possible I should have thought through that having an extra point of damage, but, like, it's really hard to predict that they would have double Eviscerate, Fungal Infection, Vicious Offering, and Cast Down all to play around. A second Cast Down? Jeez, their deck is stacked. I hope we can beat them. I mean, this is nuts. I mean, like, there's a lot of control decks in Dominaria, but, like, I have not seen a control deck like this. Double Cast Down, double Eviscerate? That's insane. That is, like, truly insane. Oh my god, we're just, like, flooding out over here. Well, what do you have? There we go. Ooh, that was close, though. Would not have taken much for them to stabilize from there. Ooh. Squeak pulling some work there. But, like, I don't know how they managed to get that from the AI. My experience with the AI is that it does weird things and makes all the decks look weird. But they're like, nah, you should have all the on-color removal. Well, we got up to 3 wins. I'm pretty happy. This deck's a little bit scattered. It's not, like, super highly focused or anything like that. So, yeah, alright. See how far we can take it. So I have an estimate for when we will see the custom subscriber badge. Now, of course, Twitch hasn't yet implemented affiliates to be able to add those yet, but allegedly on the 20th I will see the first sketches for those, and usually it doesn't take long from there to see the finished product. This hand seems okay. Night, Nego, thanks for coming out. We'll have more regular streams soon. That's very thoughtful of you, Demolition. You should not... Don't feel the need to worry about such things. You have been very generous to the channel. I could not ask for anything more than you've already done. And, honestly, it's been super kind to both myself and my sister, and I'm sure I speak for both of us when I say that we both greatly appreciate the sentence. I hope the move is going well. So when did you actually, like, I know it was recently that, like, the move was happening. But, like, when did you actually, like, settle into the new place? I hear you, Demolition. I just feel like I try to do the same. It's hard to... So how have you been liking the new place? Has it been like Okay, well, we're getting somewhere. I think I wanna sort of obfuscate our hand a little bit. I'm gonna take the action, grab the mountain, because the only way I could play a 4-drop this turn is by having a mountain anyway. So the fact that I'm not using this mana doesn't really, like, tell anything. Oh, you're finishing... Are you, like, literally finishing the basement, or just, like, working on, like, unpacking and stuff? Like, are there walls in the basement? I know, like, unfinished basements are, like, more popular than they once were. 2 hours of moving, 21 by 12. Oh, no, that sounds like you're actually finishing the basement. Oof. Good luck with that. That sounds harsh. So that's 3-3 that thing, huh? Well, someday this deck might remember that it contains a single copy of Jousting Lance, but until then, I will discard the Squee the Immortal to this Keldon Raider. It's been surprisingly doing stuff. I think it's still better to chump block with the artifact, even though it's a slightly bigger creature than the champion. So... I think I'm supposed to just play a Journey Mage and pass? And next turn I can play the Fire Fist Adept and kill the Flyer? Eventually we'll be able to... sorry, good game god. I do not yet have my bot set up to grab gatherer info. This is on my to-do list, but still working on it. So, Squee the Immortal can be played from your graveyard or from exile. It's just a 3-mana 2-1, but you can keep playing it forever. It's pretty cool. So we're just gonna attack. I'll take both of these damages. So we're 12, which is a problem. Whoa, he's got 2 of those? That's a bigger problem. So we're gonna kill his Flyer. Alright, that's fine. Attack with the Flyer. So since these things don't have trample or anything, I hope to get Squee online soon. He's currently in my graveyard, but I could play him and then block with him. I think this makes sense. You can only sacrifice one of these things for real value. Let's do this. So if he sacrifices, like, one of these guys, then, like, the other thing I have blocking it will be safe. We might have, like, a pump spell or something, but I don't think we're likely to beat that the way this game is going. Alright, so they sacrifice their third thing. Trading, they're doing that. I honestly think that's okay for us. I mean, we are short on wizards now, admittedly. Ugh. What was the second one? Oh, the Windgrace. I'm assuming this Elves got there when he played the Windgrace in the first place. Alright, so that's helpful. Attack with these guys. Gonna play the Journey Mage. No, it's, again, for no value, but, there we go. I think he lost like 3 pounds of sweat alone. I gained like infinite pounds of vacation this past week, so I'm working on that. I am, however, live streaming from essentially a sauna, so that ought to help to some extent, I think. Yeah, it's not a huge surprise. What's going in the graveyard this time? Anything above Soul Salvage, so Land Skin Witch Vicious Offering. Alright. Let's discard this island. That's what I'm talking about, guys. This Fervent Strike, that's what I'm talking about. So I want to attack with everything that isn't Champion of the Flame. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure this is correct. I want to save this so he doesn't go crazy with pumping this thing. But other than that, I think everything I could deal with. Do I let that trade? Yeah, I think I let that trade. Well, he's got enough mana to make this a 5. But then the Fervent Strike makes my guy a 5-power First Strike. So, really, just chump blocking there? No, I don't like that. It makes me think that he's got that stupid fungal infection in his hand. If he does that... I think I just have to try this. If he sacrifices the Land War Elves, like if that's his plan, then that's fine. It just means he's like stopping some of the damage. That actually makes sense. This maybe doesn't necessarily represent the fungal infection. He might still have it, but he used it on the flyer. It's kind of interesting. It's not like bad, it's just not what I expected. That. Still like our position reasonably well. Their deck seems well positioned against what we're trying to do. Yeah, now they have the flying advantage, sure. I also have 4 cards, because, like, you know, they got to Soul Salvage back some garbage. Ooh, a big ol' that thing. A big ol' that thing, you say? So I can... So I think this turn we Chronicler our spell back. No attackers this time. And part of the problem is that they've managed to effectively play like 3 different copies of Thallid Omnivore. This card is like a large threat. Because it's just a 4-mana 3/3, but like it makes it very difficult to like manage your combat math correctly. So they had a land. Okay, they're going to pay 2 life to draw some cards. We're going to go to 6. That might actually be enough to put them in lethal range, weirdly. So let's assume that they block the 2 4-power creatures with these 2 creatures. That's helpful. Is it helpful? It would have been helpful last turn. Let's not play it then, because we have enough mana to do... Oh, wait, we can... Oh! We can actually live the dream, you guys! We can Fervent Strike, and then use Narumeha Master Wizard's ability to copy our instant Fervent Strike and choose new targets. Yeah, we're gonna do some work this turn. I'm excited for this. This could go south, but no matter what happens, it's gonna be good. So, no matter what happens, we have to Fervent Strike first. So we have to see what their blocks are. We'll decide if we think lethal is possible. Yeah, that's more or less what I would expect. So, let's keep in mind that when Narumeha enters the battlefield, 2 of our creatures will get +1/+1. So that means we're doing 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can sort of hedge here. I can Fervent Strike to save this Keldon Raider. And then I can Narumeha, targeting Fervent Strike. Do it. Kill them for exact Z's. Can we get there? Are we doing it? Eh? Eh? Let the damage happen. Let the power flow through you and directly into your face. Please. Masking nicely. It's possible they're timing out of spite because they didn't think I could Naru Meha nonsense. Maybe they're thinking, but I think if they had a solution, they would probably know what to do with it at this point. Either way, I'm fine. I'm just hoping I don't get, like, totally hosed. Which is possible. Okay. I have been somewhat hosed. I did kill their giant thing and put them to 3, though. I have a chump... Well, I don't think the chump blocker matters that much. Blue, you say? God, do they have Muldrotha? I think they have to, like, kill me this turn, though. I think most things that aren't killing me cause them to lose. And it's not impossible, but it seems unlikely. Especially considering how many reactive cards we saw from their deck last time that they haven't drawn already. Granted, them spending their turn, like, killing a bunch of our good stuff isn't great for us, but still. It was actually interesting, too. They decided to Vicious Offering one of our guys that was sort of, like, temporarily large? Or, like, conditionally large, thanks to this wizard. Like, that probably wasn't correct. As we're getting too large on the 4th, settle for local thing. In the DQ parking lot? That sounds sick. There's a Dairy Queen in the basement of the Excalibur, which is where we usually like to stay. And it's like one of my favorite places. It's just I need it in my life. Hey look! They have Muldrotha, the Gravetide! Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen this ability represented in Magic Arena before. So what Muldrotha does is it, like, lets you play a permanent of each type from your graveyard each turn. So they played a Llanowar Elves from their hand, and they played a Llanowar Elves from the graveyard. I drew Time of Ice. I'm going to tap their 6/6, and then kill them? I believe this is correct. 1 card in hand, they have no mana. Go wide. My Jurassic Chomp. I didn't try the Jurassic Chomp. My go-to is the like chocolate chip cookie bake, where they basically just like make a molten cookie and put ice cream on top of it, and it's all I ever wanted. Whew. Now we're on. We are quite hot, both literally and figuratively, as we are now on a 4-game quick draft winning streak, and that deck was no joke. That was a good deck. But also, I'm very hot because it's like 10 million degrees in the Los Angeles area today. On the 4th, my parents and I, we saw The World of Wonder, which was sort of like a interesting spin on like a circus performance kind of thing. It's because you're here. Yeah, there you go. Well, Demolition, I feel like when you're not here, we do genuinely do worse. So, you know, there might be something to that luck charm idea. So we did that. I think that was also the day where we made our return trip to the escape room and successfully escaped the cowboy shootout mystery. Even though we didn't... It's a long story. Someday I may go on that rant. And we attempted to go to Mandalay Bay where they were claiming that they were having fireworks at 9, but they were actually at 10:30. So we went back to our room, and then it turned out like we just had a good enough view that we could see fireworks like everywhere. It was good. Alright, we're up to 4 wins. We're like kind of close to parity on overall value, but we're still like made our like gems back. To like properly make your gems back, you need 6 wins, although like 5 wins is like pretty good. We also haven't lost a game yet, which is nuts, because this deck is, well, it's very similar to the deck I played at the Core 19 pre-release today. I would say this deck is a hard C. It is very average. It is most medium. I apologize if I just look like a human popsicle, because I am the sweat man who ate sweat fruit. So with this hand, we can play this 3-drop. If we ever draw a land, play this as a 4-drop, assuming this thing doesn't die, and then have Time of Ice to attack with these things. It's a little sketchy, but I think it's good enough. Fervent Strike could also do some stuff. This is my first time, like, really playing Fervent Strike in this format, and it's definitely a little better than I thought, but I've also gotten stomped by it a few times in, like, good versions of the Blue-Red Wizards deck. Again, I would consider ours a very average version of the deck. We've got a couple Journey Mage, we've got one of this other Journey... Oh, that's annoying. I mean, it's not necessarily that annoying, but I don't love it. That'll probably help someday. So let's play this Journey Mage. Now, awkwardly, the Academy Journey Mage, i.e. the blue one that returns a thing to their hand, it can't target Shauna, because as we know, Shauna Sisei's legacy can't be the target of abilities that their opponents control. Now, if they, like, play another creature and they go to block, we can, like, do stuff with spells and things. Really, I think bouncing their 2-drop is better. Yeah, that seems correct. It also means I can't lock it down with Time of Ice. This is fairly bothersome. But I think it's correct to just bounce the 2-drop and start getting aggressive. Like that it auto-targets the unicorn. It's like, you can't goof up. I'm gonna make sure of it. And then attack with the valid target. It's not really a 1-mana green pump spell, so we should be fine here. So next turn we have, like, options. We can, like, hold up mana pre-combat and yada 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 Lobster Bisque. Oh, look at that Pegasus Courser. That could be very annoying for us. So what's likely to happen is we're just gonna attack and see how they block and then use spells accordingly. Ooh, that's a good draw. I still like my plan of charge! Ramming speed, Journey Magein. That's like oxen. The plural of Journey Mage, just add an N on the... That can't be right. Is that what you want to do? Why would you want to do that? That can't be correct. What do you have? I see. Did I Shivan fire it? No. So, their thing gets +1/+1. It becomes a 2/4. So I can... I have no mana left, so I can make my thing 4 power and first strike. Alright, I like this. It's relatively inefficient use of our mana, since, like, doing Time of Ice, like, doesn't do anything here. But killing their Courser and their card at the expense of 1 card seems really good for us. And I'd prefer to hold on to these other cards, which all feel like they have potentially higher value later in the game. The Shivan Fire can deal up to 4 damage, and we could have done it there, but, like, yeah, I don't know. Run Amok obviously can do damage and give Trample, and Time of Ice, well, we've seen what Time of Ice can do. Combat. Alright, well, not drawing lands would be good from now on. I think it is correct to charge. So this time, I'm going to run amok. This is apparently how this game will play out. So, I mean, they gain a couple life back, so, like, we actually only end up doing that many. This is fine. But the thing is, by keeping all of their, like, second creatures off the board, like, this Shauna, like, doesn't do anything. Like, if they had tried to double block there, it would have been really bad for them, and I think they figured that out. Like, it was pretty obvious I had something the way I played that, but still. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's what I wanted. That plays right into my hand. So I can... Well... Let's think about this. I can shiv and fire... I think I'm supposed to be aggressive, but this feels bad. So I think I'm supposed to shiv and fire this one because it's cheaper. Because Time of Ice is going to lock down and bounce the other one. My turn. Boy, these draws. It's a good thing I'm making the most of what I got, because woof. Now they're at 3. So they need to play, like, 2 blockers, and I need to continue to brick in order to, like, not win next turn? How people are still firing off fireworks around you, Demolition? Then we'll say when we were watching the fireworks from our hotel room, they lasted for, like, hours. For, like, no less than, like, 3 hours. That's interesting. Don't really... Oh, that makes me so sad. I mean, I think Kamal's Druidic Vow is a terrible card. But they paid 6 mana and put a land onto the battlefield untapped. That's so sad. Oh hey, we unlocked Seeker's Squire and a pack of Dominaria. Well, this draft is going better than it ought to. I mean, I guess the thing I did right is we sort of figured out that red was the correct color to be in, although I'm still not sure. Maybe blue was wrong, but like our best cards are blue. Like, I can't imagine we would have ended up with a significantly stronger deck by, like, going into a different color that was, like, slightly more open. Like, the Naru Meha was cool. Plus, we got to live the dream. But I think the like, thing I did right is just to, like, prioritize some of these, like, B-grade combat tricks that have carried us. Like, if we didn't have stuff like this Fervent Strike and this Run Amok, like, we wouldn't have beaten that, like, mono black removal spell deck. Ugh. I forget, Demolition, do you have pets? Do you have, like, dogs? I know they can, like, really freak out if, like, sudden fireworks happen. Like, is that, like, something you're dealing with? 2 dogs. What kind are they? What breed? I'm sure you've mentioned this, but, like, I am slowly melting. Yeah, I mean, it's from the sounds of it, like, I just don't know how you would, like, the majority of all dogs just seem to, like, be forced to panic on the 4th of July. Like, I don't know what else you would do. There's gonna be fireworks. Spanky and P, those are lovely names. Tease. I'm not sure I'm familiar with 3. Alright, what does this look like? 1-drop, 3-drop wizard, 3-drop squee, Time of Ice. We don't have the second red for squee, but this hand seems okay. I think this is a keep. Now, the awkward thing... Whoa. Oh. What is this to equip? Well... So you're saying there's a curve. Alright, I'll try it. I'm game, we haven't lost one. I'll go full meme for this. There's a bit of Bijan. Just a Billy Lucky Rascal. I like your dog names. They are delightful. Okay, let's do this. Let's attack for 1. I don't think the green deck punishes me for that. Black deck can. Ah, there we go. Spore Crown, some such. We didn't get there on that land. Ah, the meme. She has failed us. So, I mean, we could still equip the Lance next turn. It's not great. Well, we can't start just jamming out Journey Mages. Ugh, thing is bigger. Can play the Keldon Raider and discard Squee. That's been working out for us pretty well so far. Yeah. I think that's the best use of my mana. This one. No attacks. So I had a hamster named Rusty and 2 parrots. No birds. Songbirds. Yeah, there's a lot of birds that I could not tell apart. So, I don't know how much use I'd be narrowing it down, particularly if they're not parrots. Friends to the pirates. So if we can keep this garbage 2 guy out there. So... play this, they just lose 2 life. The board stall continues. And then eventually we can push through with like Time of Ice and Run Amok. I think this is better than just trying to push through now. I might be mistaken about this, but I'm gonna run with it for now. Nice. Well, it makes me happy to see people use my emotes, even though, of course, you're going to use them in my chat. Ugh. Prefer not that. There's a land card. Oh hey, I didn't even notice that eventually we drew Champion of the Flame. Lose more life. This is how we will win. So if we draw untapped land next turn, we can kind of start going off. It's still tough for me to decide what my favorite of my emotes are. I like the confetti cannons and the way they bring people together, but I do like the way all the angry sword Vascos look when they tuck together for a aggressive charge. I haven't actually put in much work, but I've been thinking about what to do to set up the a bot for the channel, and I think I would like to set up some. Oh wow, that could be crazy. First, we have to. Why would you concede to that? Okay, well, we kind of fell short of the meme because our opponent was off it, but we're up to 6 wins now. Oops. What's going on today? This is bizarre. This is strange. Sprinkles would show up twice. Yeah, if we're gonna show off my sister's emotes, Sprinkles will somehow find a way to make more of an appearance than the others. I love the bunny bot. This is very cute. I heard Shira's talking about making a set of custom subscriber badges for her folks, but I don't know what her plan for those is. I'll be interested to see. So we now have like multiple attempts to try and just win a more game. More. This is absurd is what this is. This is a bizarre draft. Like, our deck isn't bad, but, like, we don't have a lot of removal. We don't have, like, a ton of wizard payoffs. We have a couple. We have enough that our deck, like, functions, but, like, I am surprised to think that we would get to 6, let alone possibly 7 wins. I haven't really been paying close attention to our opponent names, but our current opponent is the Green Inferno. Alright, so let's take a look at this. We only have 2 lands. We're going second. So if we draw more lands over the next, like, 3 turns, we're in, like, pretty good shape. I think this is a keep. It's not a great keep. It's a fairly sketchy keep with the 2 lands. If it was 3, this would be easier, but we have 2-drop, 3-drop, combat trick. Like, I think we keep this? Finally beat Final Fantasy IX? Congrats, Alcadius. That's one I've never started. I think I'm just supposed to play this, because without the lance, this guy's not threatening very much damage. Okay. I guess it's Talarian Scholarin time. Just looks so smug. I hate to put him in my deck. There's a lot of things that I've had to start repeatedly before finishing, including 20,000 Leagues, which I'm very close to finishing now. We attack first, and see what they will do. Roar. I think they will take it. I think we should play the Keldon Raiders and discard the Champion of the Flame. This seems correct. I don't think we will meme with this card at all. No memes whatsoever. Well, congratulations. I'm going to fire off a broadside of confetti for you, Alcadius, if you earned it. Oh god, it's Grunt. He's a lonely boy. That's right, we have more than one Fervent Strike, eh? So... we can... see what he does. It seems unlikely they'll block. Yeah. So now I'm supposed to play the other one, but I have to make sure auto tap doesn't totally hose me forever. And I discard... I feel like discarding Fervent Strike tips my hand too much. Oh wait, I can just not discard. I think in this case I not discard. Cancel. Yeah. Yeah! Yeah, boy! What are these? Party Poppers. Adorable. I think I've seen those before, but I forgot they existed. That's right, he becomes a 10-10. This is problematic. Block. Actually, let's not. Let's take 10. I'm gonna take 10. That's bothersome, admittedly. Attack with both Keldon Raiders. See what they do. And then we will... just because I think we want to use our mana here, I'm gonna Narumeha to have the other one just deal an extra damage. They're all tapped out, so this shouldn't make a big difference. That's the only viable target. It would be this one. So both my things have 5 power. First strike, your spider dies, you take 5, you go to 9. Chump block with the Scholar on my turn. Well, that's really irritating. Well, if I draw a land, I can Fire Fist Adept and Fervent Strike. Sure. I don't think that does much for them there. Sure. I have to say, I was not expecting the, it's the second time we've gotten, like, Arbor Armormented. Hold up. Auto tap is just like aggressive about doing like the worst possible thing at all times. Okay. So the question is, do we actually attack this turn? And actually, I'm now realizing that the answer is no, because I'm supposed to play the Gitu Lava Runner to chunk block Grun, and then I will have multiple 4-power things that can attack. Yeah. And Armament, this thing, this got us pretty good. I suppose I don't know. It's hard to assume that's the thing in their hand, and thus target the same thing with both copies of the Fervent Strike. But, at the same time, sometimes you're just supposed to think about how you could possibly lose the game, and that's a way you could do it. Like, man, they'd be in such worse shape if we had just, like, done it that way. It's rough. Also just, like, wider than us. I don't think we could ooh, that's not great. Yeah. This seems bad. Well, got our blue source back. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's a pretty close game. The thing we should have done is just target the one guy with both Fervent Strikes, but that feels like a really tough read. Like, yeah, I don't know. It feels so cautious to do that. Like, so often you just miss a point of damage. Like, I've not commonly seen Arbor Armament played. I mean, I guess it's one of those cards that goes up a little bit in value in the quick draft format, but like, woo. It feels like such a long shot. So, Acadius, now that you've completed Final Fantasy IX, what's next? You're going to play through Final Fantasy X? Opponent is Zakes! You appear to be at, like, limited rookie rank. This hand seems fine. We got our 1 removal spell, 3-drop wizard into 5-drop wizard that likes wizards. I keep this. How good it is will be somewhat dependent on our draw, but I think this is reasonable. We still have 1 more chance to meme. Eh? We get the lance on that 2-drop guy? He's real unexciting. Huh? Do nothing? I would like a do nothing. That's kind of like do nothing. It's not exactly do nothing. Oh, that's nice. I forgot he was in our deck. Let's bring this island just in case. And a no-value 3-drop wizard. Yeah. Ooh. Triple planes. Oh god, it's the history of Benalia. That's not ideal, is what I might say. I would like to draw... That's not bad. That's actually pretty good. In fact, I think that might be better than what I was gonna ask for. Let's go ahead and bounce your token. It's gone forever. Bye. Peace out. Attack you for 3. So you now have no blockers. Wonder if they're mono white. Yep, there's another guy. Can kill it with Shivan Fire. Actually, we could kill it with Fire Fist to death next turn. Everything may be coming up Millhouse. And then after all that nonsense, we'll have a removal spell and a two-headed giant. Oh, that's gross, though. Can still kill it with the Fire Fist Adept, though, which is sick. Is this thing a knight, though? It is. Maybe it's better to just kill that. Pretty sure we're supposed to play this. Well, yeah, it's got to be better to kill that thing first, because either way, a knight's going to get buffed by the last mode of the enchantment, but this way, his bird creature doesn't also get the buff. So we have 3 wizards, right? This is a wizard, this is a wizard, this is a wizard. This thing is dead now. And let's consider the fact that they want to attack me with this, so they're probably not going to block when I hit them for 6. Also, I'm like past the point where I like need to keep a critical mass of wizards on the board. I mean, like Narumeha wants some number of them, but if I trade here to like not take like 6 damage or whatever, seems fine also. These things are all okay. Somehow I just toased the History of Benalia into a card that works really well with it. Like, our opponent actually had a really good start, too. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Huh. What do I want to do with my Shiv and Fire? So... I think I'm supposed to kill the Tragic Poet, but that feels dumb. So the problem is, if I let the well, okay. If I kill the 3-1, then I'm attacking them for 6 again and playing two-headed giants. Then on their turn, they can spend all of their mana to make a single 2-2. They won't have anything other than the Sarah Disciple on the board. That's, like, fine, right? I think this is... I think it's close. I prefer doing this, but I think it might be right to kill the poet. We'll see what happens. I mean, granted, we'll also be playing two-headed giant, like, after we attack. Which can just be insane. Okay. They're firmly on what the heck is it called? The Saga. They're on the Saga plan. Okay, we got there eventually. Ah, I'm up at Aphrodite. It's my sister. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing this lovely weekend? Is it super hot where you are also? It is very hot here, and I am sweating all the time non-stop. Playing some Magic the Gathering, and I'm doing surprisingly well because our deck is not amazing. Yeah, our opponent has in fact done everything I predicted they would do. They used their poet, they got back the History of Benalia, they played the History of Benalia. Ooh, they're not attacking. Let's play this Divination and see if we get one of our, like, pump spells or something. No? Not exactly. I don't know, let's just attack with everything? Yeah, let's attack with everything. Seems good. Alright, no effects. Just a 4-4. Just a 4-4. It was very hot in New York. Well, I'm glad that you're not still there, then. Sounds okay. 72. Nice. 5 baby bunnies today? That's sick. That's so good. Alright, we did them 3 damage. We killed all of their creatures. Somehow that didn't seem right. Let's play the... By golly, we're gonna try to live the meme and equip this Champion of the Flame with the only equipment in our deck. Okay, Pegasus Courser, you got it. Okay, do I have a thing I can get back? Oh, I can get back Shiv and Fire. So, I have... Okay, if I make sure auto tap isn't atrocious, I can get back the Shiv and Fire, kill the 2-2, force them to 1, assuming I don't get Menace with two-headed giant, in which case I just win the game. This seems fine. It's aggressive, but like I think our opponent can't deal with us continuing to play this aggressively. Get back the Shift Fire. Alright, There we go. We did it. I'm a little sad that we ended up losing that one game just because it would have been nice to have a 7-0 sweep, but I did not think that this deck was going to get 7 wins, and it did. So we made our money back, got some new cards. God, I hate Needletooth Raptor. This is sick. So we, like, genuinely just made 200 gems and got, like, free packs of Dominaria. It's good. Drafting is good. I like it. Let's open a bunch of packs of Dominaria. Alright, ooh, Raph Capuchin. I'm convinced there's gotta be some way to play him in Standard, right? And then Jai's Emulating, boo. Legendary Sorceries are bad. Alright. Got here. Nice, uncommon wild card. We can use that for some uncommon card we actually want. Can't tell if this is grayed out because it has low color saturation. I believe this is another courser for the collection. And, oh good, the first eruption. This card isn't super situational and bad. So let's see, if we're pulling bad red rares, what's left in the set? I mean, Two-Headed Giant isn't excited outside of draft, but getting that one late in our draft was super good. Also, we apparently have a full set of Skittering Surveyors, but not Juggernauts. So, what's it gonna be? Of course. It's a rare wild card, so we can exchange it for whatever the worst red rare is. Hooray! Yeah, that's right. We were on a 6-game winning streak in a try to get to 7 wins format. Oh, so let's see. We're at 8 o'clock now. Ugh. Yeah. Tell you what. Wow, we actually managed to complete all of our, like, challenges? God, we must have gotten a ton of gold without even, like, paying attention to it. Or, like, almost all the way back up to the amount of gems I bought in the first place. Let's go ahead and just play my random Vasco special deck. Quick ladder construct. This one. Do this. Here's the Snoopy shirt. Thank you very much. I wanted to wear a dark colored shirt knowing that I'd be sweating through it, like, just so much sweat. So this is one of the darker ones, and has a relatively breathable fabric. What does the countdown timer mean? The one at the bottom of the screen tells us how long it's been trying to matchmake us with an opponent. And it found us Meat Door! Or Meat Dore? Huh? Okay. Alright. So, Kari Zev, Lannery Storm. I like this hand. Let's keep it. Need all 5 players to come to a decision to name the Shadowrun team. That makes sense, Demolition. However, it is a big ask. Alright, so our Lannery Storm can make an artifact which we can use to play Zahid for cheap on turn 4, which is sort of what this deck does. No, they're playing Kari Zev, but I'm playing Kari Zev. Our opponent is also just playing the, like, grossly overpowered mono-red deck that just, like, defines Standard right now. And is generally a reason not to play Standard, because it's poop and butts and I hate it. Oh, is it Chain Whirler? Nah, that's worse than Chain Whirler for me here. That deck looks a lot like mine, except mine is aiming to have fun and do something interesting, and theirs is just trying to, like, win and be a butt. Yeah, I got a monkey. I can't block any of that. A block here? Because that seems dumb. Well, this thing is blocked. So I think what I'm supposed to do is play Lannery Storm, attack with just her, so I then have an artifact. She generates a treasure when she attacks. Ooh, wow. Deal them 2 damage, whatever. I can, like, block something. This has Menace. Does the monkey have Menace? No, it doesn't. Yeah, sure. No, that's a Yeah, really just, like, Standard is so bad right now. It's sad because, like, Standard was, like, actually in a pretty good place for a while there, and now it's just, it's so bad. All it takes is one set to ruin Standard. So this resolves, I get attacking monkey. We block. Nothing is actually, oh no, this, yeah, we can't block. This one. Well, is there a way I could get the city's blessing this turn? That seems insane. So if I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not so much. No, do the other. Do this one. Yeah, I can't actually do anything here. Well, it would be super good if our opponent wasn't just trying to kill us on turn 3, and instead do something interesting. But this is what constructed looks like. So, you know, there's only so much I can say about that. Yeah, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. Alright? Hello, hi. I think doing another quick draft would probably take too long, but I think I'm gonna play a couple more games of Constructed just to try out this deck a little bit more, because I think there's something interesting going on here. It doesn't really have a good matchup against the only competitive deck right now, which isn't a great sign, but, yeah. Anyway, I want to wrap up this recording for YouTube. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed our red-blue wizards and our weird winning streak. More drafts in Dominaria to come. As soon as Core 19 hits, we'll probably start drafting that as well. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed. More Magic will come to YouTube. And if you want to watch stuff live, catch me here on twitch.tv/VascoDeGamer. Stream Wednesdays at 4:30 p.m. Pacific, and Saturdays around 6 p.m. Pacific. On the weekends, we tend to do a little bit of other stuff, but sometimes we're also playing Magic. Thanks again for watching. I will see you soon!